see Sloan Swan with the 1 pin so far. He's ranked 32nd this season. See if Burkett can step up here and try to regain momentum. These two have faced each other in the past. It was a win for Sloan Swan by decision 4-1. And off we go. Belt number 2 of 10.
Sloan Swan, again, has been wrestling well, getting better as the season goes on. He's got himself into the rankings. Again, facing a familiar opponent could be tough. Could be tough when you know somebody that you're wrestling and it was a decision. You know, 4-1's not that big a gap. That's a takedown decision difference match. Sloan Swan, again, coming off a little bit of momentum, getting a very close win in their trip down to Greeley this past Friday.
Yeah, Swan was able to defeat Jacob Schultz 5-1 by decision away at Northern Colorado. Burkett, we last saw him on the 12th, so a couple days ago against Missouri. He made way for Peyton Kellar, who wrestled that night. And he is the normal wrestler in the lineup at 165, not competing this evening.
You know, and that's so common as we talk about, you know, all the intricacies of how to play and manage your team at this point in the season. Some action distracting me here from these guys, Burkett and Swan, in a great scramble so far. Funky position. Both trying their best to improve by getting their head high. Classic coaching point in scrambles. Keep your head high. Head high wins. That's what you're called. Swan in a funky position, kind of puts himself in danger. Burkett able to capitalize. Gosh, what looks like a 5-point move. 6-point move over the Cowboy, goes up 6-0 and has Swan on his belly. Minute left in the first period.
Burkett already exceeding the total that these two combined put up in their meeting early in January. It was a 4-1 Swan decision victory. Right now, Burkett could be thinking about bonus points in this situation, up 6-0.
Yeah, he's right in a good position for it. And right now, I haven't seen too much of a committed attempt to turn on top. Looks like he's wanting to just stay on top as Swan works his way up to his feet. So close to get a fresh restart. That's what he's going to want to look to do as he tries to attempt and to run Swan out of bounds. Swan, wise to it, circles back in, keeps the clock rolling, earns an escape, cuts down that lead, 6-1.
So as we tick down here in the first, a great start here for Burkett. And we'll head to the second.
Burkett able to capitalize off of a strange kind of funky looking scramble that Swan found himself in. A decent attempt to try to secure the points and continue to wrestle and not be satisfied with the stalemate, but ends up paying for it. The big move. Burkett goes down. Swan on top, second period.
Swan returns Burkett to the mat, who started the second period on his knees.
He's right back up, and he's got to be careful. Swan does a good job keeping his opponent moving, getting more points of contact down on the mat, able to get him in a position where you can just kind of ride him out of bounds. Stay on top, 20 seconds down in the second. Swan looks like he's committed to staying on top here.
Yeah, and it's important for Swan, with plenty of time left in this bout, to not panic despite the 5-point hole he's in.
Yeah, and easier said than done. Big 6-point move. Could rattle you if you let it. Again,
Sure.
Swan gaining some confidence throughout the season. Probably is trained to handle situations like these where, hey, to throw yourself a pity party right now is to make a mistake. You can't afford it. Matches go by way too fast. All you should be thinking is score next.
Burkett able to get one more point on the board as he's now onto his feet. He's going to earn the escape here. On the topic of Swan, though, just improving as a redshirt sophomore, 10-10 this year. We've been able to call most of his matches. What areas has he improved the most?
Again, we touched on it a little bit earlier. His confidence and his composure seem to have improved, and it's a good thing to see and be able to notice, especially timing-wise in the season. You know, you want to do your best wrestling when it matters most, and that's earning a spot on the podium at the Big 12 tournament, and then again earning a spot down at nationals, where ideally you want to be peaking. The trend is going in the correct direction for Swan, certainly. Find himself in a hole here, so good test here as Burkett has all control in the match so far off that big move early on in the match.
He's going to take a 6-point advantage into the third. So Swan will start the third period on the mat. And Burkett will be on top. Let's see how he does with an opportunity here to try and close the show and get his team back in this duel.
Swan goes quad pod, hand control, turns around, earns the escape fairly quickly.
You surprised that Burkett let him go as quickly as he did?
You know, it depends, right? I don't feel like Burkett's been necessarily threatened on his feet.
Sure.
As a you know, beyond the scramble that happened early on, we saw Burkett be able to get a decent ride on Swan earlier in the match and have him flattened out for a bit. So, you know, I'm not really surprised of his decision. He looks like he just wants to continue this motion, this action on their feet. Burkett looks a little confused here, looking to his bench. I'm not sure what he was necessarily looking for. Slow back to center.
Swan like tiring
again,
a bit.
Absolutely, Swan in the best scoring opportunity that he's gotten himself in. Goes to turn around. Burkett catches him in a roll through. Gosh, I don't even know what we call it here. They're just scrambling around. There's a name for it for sure. Swan, though, able to come out on top. It's got Burkett in a bad way. Decides he's in a worse way himself. Dangerous position, decides to cut his opponent 8-5 in favor of Burkett. Swan, though,
nice move there by Swan.
able to tie this match up. 35 seconds. Let's see what Swan, liking the momentum that he's gained so far, has decided to give his opponent the lead by a point, and is looking to finish this match in regulation. Burkett definitely going to want to slow Swan down here as time ticks down. Swan.
Those underhooks are in deep.
Absolutely. Swan gambling here. Burkett going to, you know, gosh, the confidence of Swan might have bit him there as he decided to cut his opponent with about 35 seconds left, gave it an effort. Burkett able to slow him down and let him run down. Swan storming back, gets 2 takedowns late, thinks that he can get a third, was unable to get it done. Burkett able to again weather the storm that is Swan, that it was in that third period, that last minute. Able to slow him down on his third attempt and come away with the victory.